excitement, you guys.
Kelsey, thank you. It's great to have you back with us for year number 2, and it's just amazing how expectations have dramatically changed here, Debbie, over the last year.
I mean, 4 franchises have already moved games on the road to accommodate the demand.
That global game. To imagine it is right around the corner here. Iriafin off the mark on a 3. She can shoot it from out there. A stretch floor with just plenty of enticing potential.
That Georgia Amore tore her ACL, and I spoke to her before the game. She has incredible high spirits about it, a really good attitude, and she's looking forward to learning on the road this year from the bench, learning.
5 players returning from last year's team, so there's a lot of chemistry to be built here as Mitchell fire away.
Kelsey Mitchell running the point, something that she's done her whole career. An area she's really grown in.
Career high 19 points per game for Mitchell last year. 3rd all-time in a season in Fever scoring.
That's Lucy Olsen getting to the elbow. Last year at Iowa.
Olsen was the 23rd pick in the draft. One of those players trying to make this roster as Cunningham just fighting through traffic. This is Ashton Prechtel. Later, college ball at Stanford, some really good size. Has had a couple great years in Greece. Iriafin carving out space and draws the foul. In the draft, went 1 selection after teammate Sonia Citron. Healing as well as she transitions to the more athleticism-driven WNBA game.
Yeah. I think she has the ability to play at USC that allowed her to face up, to make reads, to cut. Those things are important in the league.
Oh, the hesitation and the drive. We really saw her confidence skyrocket last year.
She's become one of the better defenders in the league.
This is something that fans of Indiana Pro basketball have gotten well used to. The Pacers employ that strategy throughout the season into the playoffs, and Stephanie White wants to bring it over here to the W.
Passing lane on the switch.
Mitchell and Turner not on the same page, and this is what you're working through here in the preseason. Prechtel lines up and knocks down a 3. They'll say it's a long 2, but still an impressive looking shots. Ashton Prechtel.
Corner triple in transition. See that now? That's going to get me excited if we start seeing a lot of that in the league.
This will too.
Nice back door.
Back door. Sophie Cunningham. Those two have a lot in common as Citron off the mark on a 3. Bounce pass Citron. Pretty reverse and the finish.
Now, Sonia Citron is a baller. Tremendous upside.
All ACC first team offense and defense. Bonner crossing over and draws the foul. Maybe very good to great. I think when Bonner was signed, everyone started to throw the Indiana Fever into that upper.
Experience winning 2 WNBA championships. And she's at that phase in her career right now. We're going to be built. This is just one piece of the building block here today.
Here is Sykes driving and turning it over. You saw the graphic there. No player in WNBA history has played more postseason games this year. Went into the playoffs with 19 combined games of playoff experience. This year the roster has a combined 213 games of playoff experience, 87 of those. It's great to have you back. Cunningham misses on a 3. But I think your point is fair, and it affects your team. She had to check out. Let's see.
Impact is there. That's one. We're going to keep track all year.
Off the mark on a 3. There, shoe counter.
First quarter, and we've seen a bunch of different looks on the top of the floor. That's Lucy
Mitchell, but she lost the handle, and it's a 4-on-1. Hands off, and Enksler banks it home.
Tilting the floor the other way.
Oh, lost the handle overall in the corner.
I think she has just turning in.
No, 22. She transitions to Iowa City wants tomorrow. To bring it over here to the. I don't want to break any news or anything, but I think pretty likely. Impressive looking shot. One. As a cutting, Citron lays it in, and she's shown.
Citron is one of the best players at Notre Dame's history.
Cole's going to have to get it up. She just does.
To the free throw line is short.
So,
I think, Debbie, that
preseason opener begins with an Aaliyah Boston 3. But the young Washington.
And the Pacers are looking good, man. Really good. It's going to be fun in that Cleveland series.
Tip off round 2 tomorrow. Boston going to be called for a kickball. I'd say probably closer to 10. Fever have a game tomorrow, that rare preseason back-to-back, and you do have to be careful as Cunningham is left alone and drills a three.
I mean, the efficiency, an experienced basketballer who knows how to play on both sides of the ball. It's a great pickup in the offseason by Kelly Kroskoff and Amber Cox.
There's Bonner getting into the passing lane, knocking it out of bounds.
To the slot in transition.
Sykes might have gotten away with a foul there on Hull. Corner three won't fall for Sutton, and Boston has the rebound. And look at Cunningham wanting to push. Bonner fire away. She is playing when most players start to drop off some into their mid-late 30s, if they're lucky enough to be playing that. Bonner is still in peak form.
And it's a player that Stephanie White knows well for coaching her the last 2 years.
Oh, as Sykes working backdoor, pass a little behind her. Bonner comes up with the steal. Oh, and Cunningham have had really good chemistry here in the early going, and Cunningham's aggressiveness is causing
Foul.
Nice first look at Sophie Cunningham in a Fever uniform. 7 points, a couple of rebounds in 8 minutes. Bull got inside, everything but the finish. We're on Melbourne. Sykes switch on to Boston. She'll attack her, and Sykes wins the matchup and one.
You have to show discipline on a Brittany, some of that quickness on the floor.
Sykes can't cash in on the N1, but it's for the Fever not be at prime efficiency just yet. Bonner the drive into the double team, steps through, fires it up there, shot too strong. Howard right place, right time. Howard now has 4 points for Indiana. Some of the starters back on the floor for Stephanie White. Sykes puts on the break, wheeling inside. Howard gives chase.
And nice pivot on the inside. That's how smaller players score over taller players.
Howard trying to use her size, the left hand. She's a good defender. Makes her shot, fakes the three, gets right to the rim, lays it in with a foul.
It's the attack and transition by
Indiana presented to her what they were trying to do, and she even told you, Pat, in her own words, she would be absolutely dumb.
I get why she stayed in Phoenix. You want to play with Taurasi, you got Griner, you think you're going to win another title, right? Indiana wasn't in a position to win a title.
No question.
They are now.
No question. Things have changed here pretty dramatically, and the Fever did put on as far as that trade was concerned. So it wasn't a free agent signing, but this is where Cunningham wanted to be, and she is showing out here in that first preseason game, all of her different attributes. As that one ping-pongs around, and Boston comes up with a steal.
The top of screening action so that you force the action to go, the offensive team to go deeper into their sets. Like that last play right there. Lexi Hall did a really good job of getting over the top of the ball screen. So that forced.
Howard sticking with Melbourne. Here's the rookie Iriafin with a shot clock down to 2. Didn't see it, and will she get it off in time? She will not. It's a shot clock violation.
So it's really good back-to-back. You got to build towards the fourth quarter because the league is so good and so talented. You have to be able to execute in the fourth quarter on your defensive end.
Here's Howard, that left-handed sweeping hook, and she is fouled. There's no question that's true.
And last year, Connecticut, the team that Stephanie coached, was #1 in defensive rating. And for the Wade Trophy winner, about it all the time because she was such a brilliant offensive player, and to be able to see the game on both sides.
Bonner hits the floor, no whistle. Shot too strong there from Olsen. Cunningham pulled it down, and here's that feistiness.
There you go. She's in charge of the officiating in the league.
Cunningham misses the first. Let's check in with Kelsey Casper.
We were talking about how of a defensive-minded coach Stephanie White is. She said to her team, we need to get 3 stops in a row right now.
At you very quickly. There's, under overhead strap, ice jam, switch, drop, or the 8 different ways you can guard a ball screen. But you got to know personnel, and there's different levels and variations to all that.
She was an 83% free throw shooter a year ago. That's about her career high in scoring, but it was also her most efficient step forward last year, and vice versa. Kelsey helping out Clark in the backcourt too.
No question, Kelsey Mitchell categories.
There's Olsen spinning away, flip shot too strong. Iriafin the rebound. Mitchell trying to paw at it. That one won't fall. Here is Bonner with the offensive rebound. Clear out Mitchell. She will fire. Still working that shot back up to speed. Rather see this now than in 2 weeks from now. Howard hits the deck, no whistle. Area Finn. Pass too strong. Jones couldn't handle it. Here's Cunningham, and she draws the foul.
Just a
Season form.
What a brilliant career she had at Missouri. And the space on the floor is going to be much different for Sophie this year. I expect those numbers to be a little bit better, honestly, because when you play with Brittany as well.
Cunningham has 10 points in 10 minutes. So 3 rebounds. And she's part of forcing a turnover here in the backcourt. Look at her. Caitlin Clark getting these fans on her feet. And off Mitchell, step back.
And they loved her on that set last year for Caitlin Clark.
Body's hitting the floor here. Howard got a hand on that. Citron on the drive. High arcing pass, it was too high. Hull pulls down the rebound. Here's Cunningham again. Cunningham coast to coast. Not 17. And 2 weeks from today, we'll tip off the regular season. Sophie Cunningham in regular season form as Sykes can't connect on a 3. There's Howard with the reef strong here. They trailed by as many as 15. They've got that deficit down to 7. Howard stepping back, using that athleticism. Shot 2.
One-on-one. Fever can close out on shooters.
Wilson launches off the mark. Good defense there by Howard. Driving on Enksler, who stays with her. Difficult shot. That was defended well. Enksler's made a couple of good defensive plays here in the first half. Melvin leaks out. High arcing big shot will go.
And see, this is what Stephanie White's going to love on film, is when the ball's going to run through your stuff.
Howard backdoor. Hull gets inside and finishes.
Indiana has done a nice job of attacking the rim.
Well, the Fever don't get back defensively, and Sykes makes him pay.
That's what I'm talking about. Look how quickly.
Mitchell still looking for her first bucket. Cunningham's knocked down 4 shots already. Hesitation. Here is Mitchell. 0 of 9 in the first. She turns it over for the 12th time here in the first half. Cunningham bounces. Howard, the left hand, a finishing one. Season in the WNBA. She averaged 18 points per game, 7 rebounds.
That gives you an opportunity for Stephanie White and her staff to really be able to manipulate what you want to do.
Bonner thought about the 3 and draws the foul. Just a wily veteran move, and here we see more chipping. A technical here in the first half of our preseason opener. And Bonner cashes in with the free throw. In the first quarter, and now Bonner to the foul line for 2 free throws, and he has the ability.
I've been looking at too is to make sure she was not in the act of shooting, because she was behind the 3-point line. On situations right here, can we get a couple of stops?
There's one as Washington turns it over. Well, they've been efficient when they've taken shots, but 13 first half turnovers. Final minute. First half here of the preseason opener. Bonner crossing over, lobbing up high. Beautiful find to Boston, who kicks back out to Hull. Hull with the shot clock down to 5, spins and leaves it shorts. She'll turn it on the Jets.
She's trying to get 2 for 1 right here.
And Cunningham, I don't know if she reestablished herself. Kind of a de facto last shot, and instead the Fever turn it over. Sykes driving on Bonner. Leaves it for Sutton, who's wide open, but misses on a 3.
Campaign, first team all WNBA guard. And what a remarkable finish for the Fever to make it to the playoffs, a place they hadn't been since 2016. Now they're not just talking about making the playoffs.
On the roster to 213. That's last year or this year. Mitchell did not hit a shot in the first half, but opens up the second half with a 3.
But I love them to shoot the 3, so you have to come up high and pressure her. And it opens up some lanes.
In her first preseason game, that 3rd overall pick out of Notre Dame. Howard sees 2. A repost, spinning on Enksler. Howard the right hand this time, shot too strong. Howard battling underneath, got her own offensive rebound and laid it in. Shook Sutton looking for her first score, and poked away there by Colson. Citron turns the corner, high arcing shot will fall. 9 points in the debut for Citron. Sutton, Anxler, cross-court pass. Here is the rookie, dialing up a three. Yeah, that's amazing. Mitchell turning the corner. The hesitation drops it for Boston on a fake. Boston gets it up and gets it to go.
I think Aaliyah Boston's finishing around.
Mitchell spinning off Sutton. Post up Howard. Howard going against the rookie. Area Finn. Howard floats it up. Good defense by the rookie. And they'll say Howard touched it last. Their battle down there with Boston has a lot of size. Boston, handoff Mitchell, bullseye. Cunningham off a double screen. Back for Bonner. Bonner gets inside. Boston, extra pass, corner three. It's all. Really? The Cunningham side out of bounds. Jalen Brown is checked in for her first minutes. Bonner shot fakes the three, driving on Anxler. Bonner hangs. Bonner couldn't get the roll, but she will head to the free throw line. And she's 5 of 5 here from the line today. Make it 6 for 6. Bonner shot. She wants to finish her career as one of the leaders who helps hang a banner here at first minute of the preseason opener. Anxler left alone, and she rattles it in. Sutton to stick with her. Boston shot fakes the three.
Good D by Citron.
Boston looking backdoor and got it to Cunningham. Found a crevice. The shot clock and game clock, so the Fever can play for the last look. Turned it over on their last possession. Hole will launch and get the bounce. Oh, Bonner battling and laying it in.
Great crash from the weak side.
Managers and the officiating, you know, we sort of collaboratively put those things out there, which for us this year is freedom of movement, screening, traveling, contact on drives to the basket, invitational tournament, and we did classroom and on-court training and evaluation. So that sort of kicked it off. And then we just came off of a 4-day classroom training event, crew chief training, mechanics and our rules, and, you know, just sort of best practices. You know, we're trying to work on our replay, you know, just tighten that up and get more efficient. So that's a lot of what we do in season training meeting.
Sophie Cunningham knocks down her second three as she continues to sizzle here in front of the Gamebridge Fieldhouse faithful. Dawson, on the other hand.
There's no possession. With the transition take foul came in 2 years ago. So then last year, you know, we added the innovate the game. And so I anticipate, you know, in the coming years, there might be other rules or sort of interpretations that, you know, get looked at, you know, in the WNBA.
I like the way you say that the player
gets graded and evaluated by our reviewing team. So what we focus on is really training our referees. We have a mechanics system, and if we can train our officials.
When you say analytics team, is it somebody back in New York?
Yeah, so there's a separate department go through, and they grade our officials. So we're really looking for, you know, our official. Those are some of the guiding principles there.
Well, Sue, we greatly appreciate you joining us here, helping educate us on some of the areas of emphasis of the officiating crew as Boston lays it back in for Indiana.
Helped us break it down a little. It's good for the fans to understand what the officials are going through and what they're looking at, because everybody wants them to get it right.
Citron, corner three, dials up a triple.
You feel the intensity?
Guard out of appropriately Melbourne, Australia. She jumped bronze with Australia at the Olympics last year. 1 of 2 there from the line. Hull able to track it down in the corner. Mitchell using that Boston screen. Mitchell has some space, driving on Prechtel. Mitchell puts on the brakes. Mitchell with a shot clock down to 5. Mitchell into traffic and lays it in.
Really good patience.
Area Finn on Ejim, putting on the moves, ducks inside, lays it in with a foul.